No, it's fantastic. I'm very curious about Marrakech as a city, and I've heard about the festival many times. It's a great socializing festival. There's a lot of colleagues from the industry that is here that I would like to talk to and share my experience with. And I'm also looking forward to the Masterclass that I'm going to have tomorrow and watching some films. But also I will enjoy the city. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the Masterclass is a great opportunity to really try to tell what your intention have been when you have been making your movies. And I'm one of these directors that like to talk about my work. I have no problem of being transparent or telling as much as possible. So it's an opportunity also to share my experiences as a filmmaker to an audience, and maybe to people that are studying film and dreaming about being directors. So I will try to be as generous as possible and entertaining. And I think there's no contradiction between having a content that you think is important or being entertaining or funny. I think a little bit that art house cinema sometimes can be like a genre that we are dealing with important stuff, therefore we have to do the film in a specific way. And I want to break that. I have been working on that since I made Force Majeure. I wanted to do a wild, entertaining roller coaster for adults, is what I have said. And also in the Square, I wanted to discuss important topics, but trying to do it in an entertaining way. It's just the way I'm working. Well, I'm not criticizing capitalism in general. I would say unregulated capitalism is what I'm critical about. I think it's important to remember that market economy and capitalism in many ways have improved our life, but there is, how to say, an unregulated capitalism that is creating really bad things, I believe. I think that personally, I believed in a mixed economy. I think that there should be parts of the economy that is really, controlled by a state. And I think the model of the social democracy that Sweden had during the 80s, where there was a mixed economy, partly of a free market and parts that the state take care of, is what I prefer. I think one thing that have been appreciated when it came to the Square and Triangle of Sadness was that the aspect that I really wanted to bring in the audience. I wanted to create a wild, entertaining roller coaster ride for the audience, as I said before. And a couple of decades have the European cinema been a little bit affected of being like art house cinema. And to break that tradition, I think, was something that was pleasing the jury in Cannes and also creating good shows in the competition. So maybe that's partly what I think maybe happened, that was appreciated. There's a lot of directors that I've been inspired of lately. When I was in film school, one of the most important directors for me was Michael Haneke, and I still like a lot of his works. And I'm brought up with Seinfeld and Larry David. And there was one critic that wrote that my films are like a combination of Larry David and Michael Haneke. And I love that take on my films. So I would say Larry David and Michael Haneke. The problem is that all movies are changing our mindset. So if you believe in a certain kind of way of portraying the world or human being or our society, you're also fighting with a lot of movies that is portraying the society and human being in a way that you don't believe in. And it's the images that gets the most attention that is changing our behavior most. So I think that we all people that are working with cinema, and especially moving images, because moving images is changing our idea about the world and our behavior in a way that is almost not intellectualized. We are watching images and they are changing how we behave. So we have to be aware of that the images we are creating is also going to create a certain kind of behavior. And there is an interesting, how to say, maybe you could say it's no, but it's a story that I've heard. That was the author Robert Saviano that was writing the book Gomorra, that was about the mafia in Neapel. And he said that half a year after, I think it was a Quentin Tarantino movie came out, the young gangsters in Neapel started to shoot with a gun on the side like this. And the absurdity when you do like that, it's much harder to hit the enemy, and the shootout became much more bloody, and the police had a mess cleaning up. So even if it's more dangerous to shoot like this, these young gangsters were imitating the fiction gangsters in the movies. So movies are creating behavior, it's changing how we look on the world. That's just a fact. Yes, I'm making a movie called The Entertainment System is Down. And it's a film that takes place on a long-haul flight. You can think of one of these flights that is maybe 17 hours or something like that. And quite soon after takeoff, the passengers gets the horrible message from the crew that the entertainment system is not working. So when the iPads and the iPhones are charging out, we have these people that are used to dopamine scroll, the screens. They will have no entertainment. And it's going to be very interesting to look on how they are going to react on this. What I love about the cinema is that we are watching things together in one room when we're going to the cinema. And it maybe sound like nothing, but it's a huge difference. Because when we are sitting in front of our individual screens, we don't have to reflect on the content in the same way as if we are sitting together, a group of people. So for me, the cinema is one of the few places today where it actually demands the audience to reflect on what we are seeing. And this is more important than ever, because if you look, for an example, on the next generation, the children that are brought up in Sweden, for an example, the influencers, the 14-year-old influencers, have a larger audience than the public Swedish television children program. So you have a time where we have 14-year-old influencers bringing up the next generation with the kind of content that they are sharing on social platforms. So I think that the cinema is even more important today, because we need to train ourselves on reflect on what we are watching on and to try to create a certain kind of arena where we are discussing the images of our time.